Live on a Wednesday, it's Cole and Steven. It's your favorite 45 minutes with Cole and Steven again on a Wednesday. Steven, we have a name for the show at last.
I know. I'm so excited about this name. We actually took a lot of comments. Shout out Jennifer Smith, actually. She worked hard on this. Actually, I actually want to shout out the real person, Connor Davis, who commented on our page multiple times for names. He actually came up with the final name. The name will be, what is it going to be, Cole?
Under review with Cole and Steven. We're going to take all of the weekend. We're going to take all of this coming weekend, and we're going to take it, and we're going to go under review, Steven. I love it. I love the name of the title. I love this. I'm so excited. I'm just really excited. So let's waste no time. Let's get right into it this weekend. Steven, a big game happened this weekend, and you got a little bit of a strong opinion about it.
So we're talking about the Texas A&M game, correct?
We're talking about this Texas A&M game.
So it was actually funny. I actually work with down in front, which is the office we're in. I work with them, and I was doing a surprise birthday party. And she didn't show up super late, but that's neither here nor there. So I got to sit and watch this whole game. I watched the whole game while I was working. And Texas A&M came out, and they put it on them. I was very surprised how well they were able to move the ball. And, I mean, granted, I think Clemson is just so talented that I was telling one of my other friends this, teams like Clemson, Alabama, Ohio State, you can even put maybe Oklahoma up there maybe. Just teams like that have so much talent. Everything has to go right. You can't have anything go wrong. You can't make mistakes. You have to continue to do everything the right way. And I think Texas A&M Clemson gave them every chance to win. Texas A&M didn't take the opportunity. But my only beef with this game, and I think you have this beef too, is that
a lot of people have beef for this reason.
Is that the plays? How much time was left? Like 3 or 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter, something like that.
There wasn't much.
Yeah, not much time left. Texas A&M is bringing the ball down. They make a great pass. Kellen Mond, is that his name?
It's Kellen Mond got the start, yeah.
Okay,
which I was surprised about that. I was surprised Nick Starkel did not get more playing time than he did. I think Nick Starkel might be a better passer. Obviously, Kellen Mond can create more plays for Texas A&M, but go ahead.
But anyways, makes a great pass. Their receiver makes a great run. He's going towards the end zone. He tries to stretch out. He gets hit last minute. Ball goes out. Up for debate whether it goes out of the back of the end zone or side of the end zone, I guess, or at the 1 yard line, inch yard line, or whatever. So I don't have a problem with the way the review was. I have a problem with what the call they made on the field. The refs called it a touchback.
Absolutely.
Which means Clemson gets the ball on their 20-yard line. But
is that the dumbest rule in all of football?
It is. We'll get to that. We'll get that right after this. After I finish explaining, we'll get to that because I think it is too. No, I think that the refs just made a dumb call by calling it touchback. They should have called it out of bounds because it looked like it was going out of bounds anyways on the reviews, everything like that. But there was not undisputable evidence. So I agree with the ruling that they could not overrule the original ruling of – I said ruling a lot there – of a touchback. I just don't understand why you call that a touchback in the first place. And I think that Texas A&M got robbed because on the reviews it looked like it was going out, but like I said, it's not undisputable evidence.
Indisputable evidence.
Indisputable, undisputable. I like undisputable. Most people probably say the right word is indisputable. I like undisputable. But no, it's just and I just think they got robbed because of it. And then I think they actually later on in the game, for those of you who did not see it, they actually stopped Clemson on a 3-and-out, get the ball back with, I don't know, a minute left maybe. They actually marched down the field, score. Jimbo makes the worst. They're down by 8 at this point. Jimbo makes the worst call for a 2-point conversion ever.
It was terrible. It was so bad.
Tries to do a quarterback rollout. Tries to do a quarterback rollout to the right and have all his receivers and running backs on that same side.
He had nowhere to go with the ball.
Kellen Mond didn't have anything to do with the ball. And, I mean, it ends up he just has to throw it last minute. I think it gets intercepted, but, I mean, it's a 2-point conversion, so it doesn't matter. And I think there was maybe 15 seconds left on the clock at that point. So, I mean, they tried to do an onside kick. They couldn't get it, and Clemson wins the game.
No, I agree. I think the game went about as some people speculated it would be because I thought Texas A&M was going to put up a good fight. I didn't think Texas A&M was just going to wallow around and just kind of take Clemson and take a beating. But, it is Jimbo Fisher after all. I mean, he's pretty familiar with Dabo Swinney. But to see Texas A&M, it looked for a minute like they were going to play Clemson off the field. They were really dominating the line of scrimmage. They were running the ball pretty well. And I agree with you. And is this your worst of the weekend? Do you think that's going to qualify as Steven's worst of the weekend?
I don't know, man. My worst of the weekend is not college football.
So it's not college football. Okay, well,
no, it's not.
But I have to agree. I think at that call, the touchback rule, it might be the worst rule in all of sports. The one traditional rule that they need to get rid of in all of sports is the touchback rule. There's a few rules in all of sports that need to go, and that's one of them.
I agree. It's too
so
harsh.
dumb.
It's way too harsh for a team that's gonna score, and you're punishing them basically. I agree. A fumble's a fumble, but you can get the ball back on a fumble, and you're essentially punishing them for getting too close to the end zone and fumbling in their own end zone or in the end zone they're trying to score in. It's not even like I get the safety rule. Obviously, you're fumbled in your own end zone. It's a safety. But if you fumble in the end zone you're trying to score and it goes out of bounds,
exactly.
Like, come on.
Now, I said this before on a different conversation. I said that I thought that maybe they could change the rule up to where maybe they get backed up to like the 15 or like the 10 or like you go back up to something you punish them somehow because you want to punish them for fumbling.
Give them a penalty. You can give them a penalty like a 15-yard. You can give them 15 yards. Like that's way less harsh than giving the other team the ball. And basically saying like your score is irrelevant or like that all that work you put in is irrelevant because you fumbled in the end zone you're trying to score in. Like you're getting too close to the end zone.
I don't think there's any way you could just not, punish a team for fumbling. You can't. There can't be any repercussion for fumbling. You have to punish people somehow for fumbling a football. If I fumble a ball in the end zone, I would expect there to be some kind of punishment for that. So they need to figure out something. I don't know what it is, but that is a terrible, terrible rule. And like you said, it probably more than likely cost Texas A&M a real shot at the game because let's face it, that last drive they had where they scored. I mean, first of all, onside kicks never hardly work. So that onside kick, and it was not a good onside kick at that. The play call that Jimbo Fisher had for the 2-point conversion was
you got it. 2-point
really
conversion
bad.
is like, dude, this is the game on the line. You're playing the number 2 team in the nation. You're unranked. Dude, do a trick play, the Philly special. Do something.
And you have it set up. You have it on the left hash to where you have a running quarterback to where if you put him in motion going to the right, roll him out to his right, have some options from the throw, but then give him the option to run. And Texas A&M didn't do either one of those. I was really disappointed in Jimbo Fisher's kind of creativity. If you give him your best play call, I think on a 2-point conversion, you give your best play call.
It was
bad.
It was bad. It was I was to say, there's no other words. It was bad.
Okay, so go ahead and move on because I don't want to talk about it, but you know what? Go ahead and tell me how you were right with this whole Stanford Cardinal. Go ahead. They murdered USC this weekend. Go ahead.
So I am agreeing. We talked a little bit. We talked a little bit about it before the show. I will agree a little bit. USC is obviously not top
It's not
tier.
the USC of old.
They're not. They don't have Sam Darnold anymore. They're not that great.
And I'm gonna touch on that.
We will. As I say, we will touch on NFL after we get through the college football recap.
Got to.
Definitely. But. I mean, dude, they just look good. Like they got the defense down. Bryce Love's actually rushing for 100 yards, thank God. And
that's your guy.
And KJ Costello is just. I mean, he didn't have as great of a game as he did in Week 1, but he still looked good.
Right.
And, I mean, they beat him 17-3, Cole. I mean, it wasn't a close game. It wasn't like, oh my gosh, this is iffy. Like
very soundly.
It was a sound win, and like I said, it boosts my confidence that they can win the Pac-12, and they can definitely. They have every chance unless they shoot themselves in the foot.
It's definitely a 2-horse race now between them and Washington.
It is.
That's pretty much it.
Unless they shoot themselves in the foot, they have every opportunity to go undefeated here. And
I'm actually going to look up Stanford's schedule while you're getting the tape.
If Stanford goes undefeated, there's no reason they shouldn't make the college football playoff in the same record as anybody else. I got their schedule for you. Their toughest game is probably
it's at Washington. Is that not their?
At Notre Dame.
Notre Dame. That's their first.
They're at Oregon.
That's a tough one.
They have a tough schedule. At Oregon, at Notre Dame, at Arizona State, who we just saw put away Michigan State, and at Washington.
Wow. So their 4 toughest games are all on the road?
They're on the road.
Wow, Steven.
Well, they had USC at home, which was a tough game before it happened.
I'll say this. They have a chance to prove themselves, obviously, to pave their own way to the college football playoff, but, man, it's going to be a tough road.
I say their toughest game.
There's no way they go undefeated, right? I mean,
that's tough.
You have to think. There's no
tough.
way they go undefeated.
As I say, I did not see their schedule before right now, like as we're talking, but I mean, like I said,
it's steep.
Their toughest to me is at Notre Dame, At Washington's definitely a tough game. I just see Notre Dame as like being out of conference. You might not get up for that game as you would Washington.
Yeah,
Um,
that's tough.
but that's a very, like I said, I just see them as being able to go undefeated.
I think this is a 10-win team, honestly. Looking at that schedule and just looking at the way and seeing how Stanford plays ball.
10, I was gonna say 10 win is I'll give that to you just because Stanford is known to lose the games they're not supposed to or lose the
they
games
play
when
down to
they
competition.
They
all
definitely
the
play
time.
down to competition. Or in the years past, and they've definitely.
I can see them dropping a game like to, like Washington
Cal.
State or
I could see him.
Cal or
I could
something
see him
like
dropping
that.
the game to Cal.
That's
maybe,
the kind of games they drop. Like a Thursday, they normally play like one Thursday night game a year. That's always a game that they usually probably lose or something. Anyways, but you're right. Stanford trounces USC mainly because Clay Helton continues to prove that he is an incompetent head coach, and that without Sam Darnold, that
What are they
program
doing over
is
there,
going
man? What
nowhere.
are they doing over there? I mean, even with Sam Darnold, they
Without
they were
Sam-
10-3?
Exactly. I mean, like even with Sam Darnold, that coaching staff and that program was plateauing. So
So-
I don't know where that USC program.
Well, let's move on because we're trying to get
We're on
45
time
minutes.
restraint.
We're trying to get 45 minutes here. We can talk all day, me and Cole.
I swear.
So I've got a couple SEC games for you.
Okay.
So the first one I want to talk about is Georgia in a supposed trap game at South Carolina. What do you think about that?
Well, I kind of thought that was. I was hoping for a close game. I really wanted to see South Carolina go out there and give Georgia. And for the first half, I honestly thought that it was going to be that type of game where Georgia's have to knock down and drag out and really put their foot on the gas and really try and win the game, and their defense is going to have to step up. But man, rough game for South Carolina. They just could not get out of their own way. Penalties killed them. There was turnovers. I mean, how many times did Jake Bentley have to? Did he throw it like 41, 47 times?
47 passes.
47 pass
That
attempts?
to me just tells me you just have a bad running game.
Just South Carolina could never establish their line of scrimmage. Will Muschamp has had a
I mean, they
tough
didn't
time.
even run the ball. I mean, they didn't even. They ran the ball 20 times? 20 times.
20 times, and you throw the ball.
Throw the ball
47
47
Jake
times?
Bentley is not a quarterback you want to see throwing
He's
the ball.
not. I mean, he's not a bad
47
quarterback.
times. Not
but
a
I mean,
bad one, but he's
come on
not
now.
one you want to throw the ball 47
No,
times.
you don't. Golly, establish a running game here. Come on.
I mean,
All
I'll
right,
let
let's just-
Tua.
to
I'll
put
let
it-
Tua throw it 47 times, but
well,
not Jake Bentley.
Depending, I mean, look at Georgia stats. Georgia threw it with Justin Fields throwing it one time. Threw it 19 times. They ran the ball 52 times. Now, granted, it does have to do with the fact that Georgia was playing up the whole game and South Carolina was trying to make a
for
comeback.
Sure. Oh yeah.
But 47,
For sure.
if you don't establish a running game, you can't get anything going. I mean, Jake
Absolutely
Bentley,
not.
I actually wasn't terrible in completions to attempts, 30 for 47, but he did throw 2 interceptions. I think Georgia's way too talented for him. I didn't see South Carolina actually being a trap game. I was hoping it'd be a close game, as I think as college football fans in general, if you're not a fan of Georgia, you want to be a close game, you want to be a good game. I didn't see it being a good game from the start. I had Georgia winning that one probably pretty easily, but they did. They killed the trap game. There was no chance South Carolina had throughout the game. I think Georgia's offense is coming together. Their running game looked better than they did the first week, and they're going to be scary. So the next game is actually back in the SEC East that I want to talk about, and it's an ending of a drought here, Cole.
Oh yeah, the Kentucky and Florida game, of course. Let's talk about that.
That is 31 years in the making. Felipe Franks is absolutely terrible, and Florida, with Dan Mullen, the quarterback whisperer, still continues to be awful at quarterbacking. And I think everybody picked Florida to win this game, and I think me and you, I don't think we even picked this game because we thought it was going to be a Florida win this game.
Right.
And Florida goes in there and sucks. And Kentucky wins 27-16. And Kentucky rightfully parties the night away. I saw some cars being flipped and everything like that.
Oh yeah, Kentucky Barstool was going off.
I was going to say, I think
on Saturday night.
after 31 years, you got to celebrate something. Kentucky had a Benny Snell Jr. rushing 27 times for 175 yards. They also had another running back by the name of Terry Wilson, ran it 10 times for 105 yards and a touchdown. They have 200-plus yard rushers. Florida, you're supposed to be strength on defense. You can't even do that right.
And
your quarterback,
what is this all
17
about?
for 38, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns and interceptions. Not as bad as I figured his stats would be after watching him, but that's just bad, Florida. And I get you can't get any defensive rest because your offense is in and off so freaking quickly. But whew.
Yeah, Felipe Franks, and he wasn't even that efficient. 17 of 38. So you had 21 missed passes by Felipe Franks. He still throws for 232, 2 touchdowns. If you're Florida, you have to be concerned, like you said, with the defense giving up as many rushing yards as they did to Benny Snell. And again, losing by like you did after 31 straight years of beating Kentucky. And in the fashion that you did, and then the last play where he fumbles and they recover it for the touchdown, it's just like Florida just looked lost in that game. And I think I think everybody expected Dan Mullen to just come in here and turn this program over.
It's going to take some time. I'm not blaming Dan Mullen. I just kind of everybody's like, oh, Dan Mullen's going to come in and fix Felipe Franks. No, he's not. It's Felipe Franks.
We got a comment from Josh Riley. He says that UK is going to win the East this year. I'm going to have to strongly disagree with you, Josh. I don't think that UK will win the East, but I do think that UK will be maybe what do you think, a third, fourth best team in the East? I mean, come on, you got Georgia, and then who will be finished
South
second?
Carolina probably second.
Maybe Missouri.
Missouri might finish second.
I think Kentucky, Missouri, and South Carolina will battle for that second.
By the way, we also have a comment from Dustin. Yes, we do have the written consent of College Football Playoff and SEC to use these logos. We've asked Facebook, and they've already told us yes. YouTube told us yes. So generally, when YouTube tells you yes, you have a go. So suck it, Dustin. So real quick, let's get on the last college football because we need to move on to NFL and this big first weekend of NFL. So real quick, I just want to touch on the brief. I call them tune-up games for Alabama and Auburn. What'd you see in Alabama different?
Well, kind of just
from week one, anyways.
What we can kind of do is talk about what they kind of worked on over the weekend, and then what's going into this week for them, because they both play extremely big matchups. Of course, everybody's gonna be watching that game here in the area. Of course, Alabama traveling to Ole Miss on Saturday, and Auburn hosting LSU. Now, this past weekend, Alabama, of course, what they wanted to do was let the quarterbacks work on the passing game, because they could have just ran all over Arkansas State if they wanted to. They didn't have to pick up the ball and throw it if they wanted to, but. They worked on the passing game, let Tua get his kind of chemistry with all the other receivers as they prepare for Ole Miss, because it's going to probably come down to the fact that their defense is – I'm not going to say this is a great Alabama defense. It's a good Alabama defense, but they still have a lot of things they need to work on. And Ole Miss is a team that's going to try and spread Alabama out early and try and get them to make mistakes in space. Guys like Mack Wilson are going to have to step up, certainly. I'm looking forward to this game, Stephen, because I want to see how Ole Miss tries to stop Tua. This is the first time he's going to face an SEC defense, although it's Ole Miss. But again, against Arkansas State, you saw some plays where this Alabama defense again looked lost in coverage. Saban talked about it in the press conference again, how there were times where Arkansas State got in space. There was a guy that was basically covering grass. A lot of times there was linebackers that weren't even covering players for Arkansas State. So, and against Ole Miss, and what is the guy's name? Tamu?
Yeah, Tamu. Tamu is their quarterback, yeah. So, to me, like I said, it's a tune-up game. Alabama can run the ball all day long if they want to. I enjoyed the fact that they got Jalen Hurts in there and Tua, and got, Tua looked good, as he always did. Offensive line needs some work to me.
Definitely.
I think if Tua has time, I think if he has time, he could arguably be the best passer in college football, arguably, when he has time, and he just didn't have what he needed. I mean, he still had great stats, but, it's Arkansas State, who's not going to have great stats.
Right.
Absolutely. I completely agree, though. Defense gives up plays that they normally don't. They give up those 5 or 6 yards running yards, what they normally don't, because it's Alabama, Obviously, they won 57-7. It's not like it's a close game or anything, but they just didn't – the defense didn't look as, stout at stopping the 5 or 6 yard plays as they normally do.
Right.
And I think the defense will have their biggest test possibly of the year, because Ole Miss could have a better offense.
We got A.J. Brown, and you've got what's the other receiver's name that's really good? I think his name is Matcliffe or
– Ole Miss?
Yeah, for Ole Miss. I
have to look it up. I don't know.
But Aaron says the back end of Bama's defense will be tested. It's young but talented, and also get ready for the Bama defense to be cut loose a little bit. Interesting take. I sort of see what he's saying, though, because I think that they've kept the defense kind of Manila so far. They haven't really shown their hand a lot in these first few games because they really haven't had to. They've pretty much played in their base defense against Louisville and Arkansas State. They've kind of just let their guys just fly to the football and just kind of I don't think that you've seen Nick Saban really amp it up and send his blitzes and his different kind of packages that he can to try and confuse the offensive linemen, as well as put these different secondary guys in different kind of coverages. As far
I hope he has
zone
some up
man.
his sleeve because that was kind of rough. Let's
exactly.
move on to Auburn real quick. I think Auburn, was able to do whatever they wanted on offense, but I think they've got to clean up a lot. They've got to clean up they fumbled 6 times or something like that.
Yeah, it kind of looked like that Mercer game last
They
year.
they
for a
just
second.
they have stuff they need to clean up, just the little things, holding the ball tighter. I mean, Jared Stidham 6 for 11, 113 yards. Obviously, they could run it all day if they wanted to. Defense looked great. They've got to clean up their own mistakes. I think they're shooting themselves in the foot more than anything else. And they have, look, 429 rushing yards, Cole. They ran the ball all day long. How many
But
people
let's not
rushed?
act like this was a team that was going to
It's
push
not.
Auburn
It's
at
not,
all. So
but
that doesn't impress me.
It doesn't, but I think they just didn't even try to throw. They just wanted to run the ball. And
I think what concerns Auburn fans the most was the 3 straight opening drives did not get points. You had them go 3 and out. Of course, you had a turnover in one of those drives. I can't remember exactly, but Jarrett Stidham and Gus Malzahn talked about after the game. They don't think the running game and the offense is where it needs to be just yet.
I completely agree.
The defense is definitely in midseason form, but this offense for Gus Malzahn is definitely not where it needs to be yet.
Yeah, like I said, they've got to clean up the little things, and they don't have a Kerryon Johnson in the backfield
No,
anymore.
they do not.
And they don't. Auburn's receivers are decent. They just don't have that one guy, that they can rely on that's going to get open every time. They have good players. They don't have bad players or anything like that. It's just that they don't have that one go-to receiver that they can say, okay, dude, we just need you to get open for 5 yards.
And they don't have a lot of time is not on their side because they're playing LSU on Saturday, and this defense for LSU, it is going to force Auburn to have to be able to throw the football a lot of times because Auburn's not going to be able to just run. I'm afraid Auburn's not going to be able to just line up and run the ball.
Yeah, but I think this LSU Auburn game is going to be kind of a repeat almost of the Washington. Obviously, LSU's quarterback is not as good
as Jake Browning. Not
as
at
Jake
all.
Browning,
Absolutely
obviously.
not. Absolutely
But I think it's going to be
right.
a similar kind of game like that, where both defenses, pressure each other pretty hard. I think Auburn pulls away at the end and wins this game. Like they should, because I think they have more talent. Because I don't think LSU has the offense to play against Auburn's defense. And I think Auburn's defense is going to win them a lot of games this year. But like I said, I Auburn just mainly needs to clean up the stupid mistakes, the penalties. They're shooting themselves in the foot more than anything else.
Oh, the penalties killed them. I can't remember how many penalties. They have had so many penalties in the first few games. That's another thing that Malzahn talked about in the press conference. The stupid mistakes, the penalties, the undiscipline that they've had on offense and defense is just they've got to get it cleaned up. I'm telling you, this game this Saturday between Auburn and LSU is going to seismically change the college football landscape because you look at it, whichever team wins, they're now in the driver's seat for the West. They have the 2 biggest wins of any team in the country. If Auburn wins this game, they have 2 top 15 wins. If LSU wins, they have 2 top 10 wins on the season already. So, this is a very, very big game. I can't believe College Game Day is not there.
Very
honestly,
big game.
But that's just my
who's
opinion.
College Game Day? They're at
the
TCU, Ohio State. Yeah,
game.
that's what I thought.
Couldn't believe that they weren't there. But
I think
that's okay.
I think honestly, while they're not there, is they expect to be there for the Auburn Georgia game or the Auburn
right. They just
Alabama
go to all
game.
the
So they're
SEC
just
games.
like, okay, we'll hold on.
That's why they have SEC Nation, right? Because the
I
College
guess
Game
so.
didn't have to come.
I guess so.
Well,
But,
let's see what Steven's stat of the day is. This is the part
oh man,
of
we're
the day.
moving to this. I was moving to something else, but we can do that if you want to.
I really want the people to see if you can blow my mind today, Steven. I'm really looking
Hey
forward
man,
to this.
we're not gonna get as good of a
Now,
stat as we did
last week was pretty astounding. That one was
Well,
really
see,
awesome.
I wanted to. So we can do my stat of the day. My stat of the day is I actually have 3 different ones we can choose from.
Okay, hit me with it.
So these all have to do with 2 of them have to do with the NFL. So first stat I'm not gonna make you guess on. It's college football stat. I just thought it was interesting, and Alabama broke the tie this past weekend with Ohio State for their 106th time being AP number 1. That's pretty impressive right there.
Pretty impressive.
So
Really impressive.
my next stat, do you know the last quarterback besides Sam Darnold this past Sunday to win by 31 or more points in his first game?
All right, now you know how much I love Sam Darnold, and I'm getting this in just a second. Now, who was the last quarterback to say it one more time?
Sam Darnold's the first quarterback since who to win his first ever start by 31 or more points?
Wow. How recent is this? How recent? Is it the last 10 years?
Oh, man, I can't give you that.
Well, this just isn't fair.
He's a good quarterback. I'll tell you that. He's a good quarterback.
Tom Brady.
You're correct, sir.
I literally went on a limb there, but it pays off sometimes.
So
Wow,
Sam Darnold's the
Tom
first
Brady.
quarterback since Tom Brady in 2001 to win his first start by 31 or more points. The next stat I have for
That's
you,
pretty
Cole.
good company.
This is another Sunday game.
Okay.
Now, before this past Sunday, can you tell me the Packers' record when trailing by 17 or more points entering the fourth quarter? Their all-time record. Now, the Packers are an old team, Cole.
All-time record.
Packers are an old team.
I will go ahead and say they have never won a game, and that's
Okay.
out of 20.
20 games trailing
20
fourth
games.
quarter. 20
20
games by trailing. How old are the Packers? 20 games.
Wait. I thought you meant like 17. Wait, you talking about 17 or are you talking about just like trailing in general?
17 or more.
17
in the
or
fourth
more.
Entering the fourth quarter.
Wow, okay.
How many times? 20.
That's
20. 5.
Okay. We'll go
So
with
you're saying they never won a game, and you're saying how many games? This is just for fun.
I'll go 53.
So they are 0-107 when trailing by 17 or more points
107.
in the fourth quarter until the arguably
Oh my
GOAT,
gosh.
Aaron Rodgers, stepped in and won the game.
Wow. Just real quickly, when you get the chance, put that on the poll. Put it on the poll. Is Aaron Rodgers the GOAT? I have to know because that was astounding to watch. Just the guy just go down an injury and then come back like
So
he
we
did.
make it. By the way, guys,
Wow.
we have a Twitter while we're talking about this. Sorry to hop around, but we do have a Twitter and Instagram, a Facebook, a YouTube, and we're working on a website currently. But if you want to go vote on the poll, I'm working on putting it up right now. We're
Awesome.
going to say, is
Aaron Rodgers
almost
the
said Sam
GOAT?
Darnold.
Very simple. Is Aaron Rodgers the GOAT?
Is Aaron Rodgers the GOAT? Yes or no?
Hey, Sam Darnold, he'll close in one day. Don't you worry about that.
Wow.
Don't you worry about
One
that.
One start, and Cole's already saying
Hey,
Sam
look,
Darnold's the GOAT.
I hate to say now I'm going on a little rant here, but I hate to say I told you so, but I told everybody so. I just
tell?
want to say anybody who talked to me about Sam Darnold, all they had to say was he's gonna be a bust. He's gonna do the turnovers at USC. Did you see him at USC? I'm so sick of us judging of quarterbacks in the pros on their college careers. When have we ever just said? Does anybody remember what Aaron Rodgers did at Cal? Does anybody? No, I don't either. I don't remember what he did at Cal. Does anybody remember what Matthew
Tom Brady
Stafford
did
did
at,
at Georgia? Does anybody remember what Tom Brady did at Michigan? No, nobody remembers this stuff because the coaching staff and the franchise around them in the NFL versus college is completely different. Sam Darnold's in a different environment. He's with a defensive head coach, a great defense, and now he's got a system around him. And he fits New York. I've never seen a guy who just comes in as a rookie, as young as he is, and just fits New York.
By the way, guys, we did not talk about this before the show. Cole just wants to rant real quick.
I just can't believe the hatred. It's like Matthew Stafford throws a pick six, we just go, eh.
Yeah,
But when Sam Darnold throws a pick six, we're like, get on him! Everybody rage on him! I mean, like we're just so quick to just jump on a rookie quarterback who hasn't even proven himself yet.
Yeah,
but now
you got
he's
to jump
starting
on the
to.
rookies, though, man. Everybody does.
I mean, jeez. I mean, like if Baker Mayfield doesn't start, we don't say anything. But Sam Darnold throws one pick, and everybody in the sports world loses their minds.
You know who I compared? Do you remember who I compared Sam Darnold to last week?
Who
Who
did
I
you
said he
compare
would
him to?
probably be like.
Did
Do
you
you remember?
compare him to Joe Flacco?
No, I gave him very high praise, actually.
Really?
Yes.
Who did you compare him
Well,
to?
to some people, I don't consider it that high praise. Brett Favre. I said
That
he's-
is high praise.
I said he's
remember you
gonna.
saying that now.
I
Yeah,
said
you
he's
said
gonna.
that was
I
pretty
said
high
he's gonna
praise.
throw.
That is
I
pretty
said
high
he was
praise.
he's gonna throw a lot. He's gonna have great stats. But he's gonna throw a lot of interceptions. That's what I said. And you know, the last two quarterbacks who started their first game and threw a pick six on their very first pass. You know who the last two were?
Brett Favre,
In 1998.
Tom Brady.
Nope.
No.
Jameis
Peyton
Winston.
Manning. No.
Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston.
Famous Jameis. Those are the last two quarterbacks to start their first game and throw a pick six on their very first pass.
Wow. Holy
Another
cow.
stat of the day for you. You know, I'm just full of
What?
stats.
Oh, he's just full of stats.
I can keep going, people. I can keep going.
Steven's the stat master. I love it. Hit me
Okay,
with
so
it.
let's go into off of that rant real quick because Sam Darnold sucks. Let's go into the NFL recap of the week, of the weekend. First, First actual weekend of NFL football. Thank goodness. I was tired of
Thank gosh
preseason.
it's back.
So I want to go into a local team real quick. That was Thursday night. I know Cole's gonna love this because
Go
Falcons
ahead.
lost. Obviously, it's 18 to something. What was the
It
final
was
score?
18 to 12.
18 to
I
12.
remember the
Weird
score because
score.
I watched every minute of this game.
Nick Foles didn't look good. Matt Ryan didn't look good. Gross game. I didn't like watching it.
It was so sloppy.
Especially as a Falcons fan myself. I don't know what the heck Matt Ryan's deal is with Julio. They're 1 for 20 in the red zone. His last 20
Is
passes
that
to him.
just so bad? Is that?
It's,
oh my
it's
gosh.
pitiful to watch. It's hard to watch. What the heck is going on with the Falcons in the red zone? They can march down the field, and they get to the red zone, they stall out. It is sickening to watch as a Falcons fan. I don't know what to
hard.
do. Eagles definitely need Carson Wentz back. They did not look that great with the Nick Foles back there. It looks like the Nick Foles of old instead of Super Bowl Nick Foles or playoff Nick Foles, whatever you want to call him. He did not look that great.
Exactly.
But Falcons need to fix their red zone struggles. And Devontae Freeman needs to learn how to run the ball again because that was just bad. And
It was
I mean,
tough.
Julio's still great. It's just you got to do something different in the red zone, man. You have a
Yeah.
six. What is Julio? 6'4", 6'3"?
Well, I think everybody's so quick to blame Steve Sarkisian, and I'm just like, okay, look, a coordinator can only do so much for your quarterback. Matt Ryan has got to, at the end of the day, he's got to deliver these passes. And if you watch some of those throws on Thursday night, Matt Ryan looked like he was gassed on his arm, like he was throwing ducks at one point in the game. There was no zip on the pass.
He was not accurate.
It
He's
just
got
didn't
to
look
make
right.
as I say, he's got to make the passes.
Got to.
That the fade routes, the easy, quick snap it in there passes. He's got to make those, and he's just not.
I'm telling you now Kyle Shanahan leaving him was a big thing on his dropout. But I will say this. Since blowing that Super Bowl, has Matt Ryan really ever looked the same? I think there's something in his psyche.
I think there's something in his psyche. I think part of it too.
I
It took him. I think the reason Kyle Shanahan was so bad in that first year in the Falcons offense is just I think it takes Matt Ryan at least a year or so to get that playbook and get all the routes he knows, and feel very comfortable. And I don't know necessarily if he feels as comfortable in this Steve Sarkisian offense as he did in that Kyle Shanahan. But I also agree with you. I don't think he's necessarily been the exact same. But he looked good in the Super Bowl. It wasn't that he looked bad until the fourth quarter. He looked kind of bad. But I blame it more on the Falcons defense than anything else in that game.
Well,
And
that's all
okay,
you can do.
Let's move on. Let's go to your team.
My team.
And
of course.
let's
Yeah.
go. So,
we had to talk about this.
So we went through. Make Cole happy. We went through the Falcons losing. To make me happy,
My happiness in the NFL did not last very long.
I would say to make me happy, we're going to go with the Saints losing and their defense looking the exact same as it did in the first 2 weeks of last year. And what's going on, man?
I've ranted a 1,000 times since Sunday to a lot of different people, but I've remained.
Well, rant it to me, Cole.
I've been really consistent with what I've said, and my whole thing is we are wasting Hall of Fame years of Drew Brees because we have consistently the worst defense in our division. Every single year in the NFC South, the Saints have the worst defense. I don't get it. We spent a draft pick on Marcus Davenport. He was hurt in the preseason. He comes out this Sunday and finally plays. Does nothing. I don't even think he recorded a sack. I don't think he got any pressure. I mean, we spent money on guys to recruit for the secondary. Got veteran guys in the linebacking core. The Saints just look so lost on defense. And Ryan Fitzpatrick looked like Tom Brady back there. Just gunslinging.
417 yards and 4 touchdowns.
I mean, come on, guys! It's Ryan Fitzpatrick, for Christ's sake.
By the way, your boy,
bad.
y'all had two very. Nothing's wrong with the Saints offense, by the way.
Oh no, they look
Alvin
fantastic.
Kamara looks
my
like
gosh.
a freaking beast, and Michael Thomas.
Shout out to all the Alvin Kamara owners on fantasy.
Michael Thomas, 16 receptions for 180 yards and a touchdown. Are you kidding me, man?
No,
he could.
it was.
I don't think Drew Brees loves a receiver more than Michael Thomas.
Look,
maybe Alvin Kamara, but that's like golly.
I've said it
That's
before.
crazy.
If the Saints had even half a defense as the Rams, or maybe even they swapped defenses with the Carolina Panthers or the Falcons, they would be a complete Super Bowl team. This would be a Super Bowl team with that offense, but they just have the worst. They have no pass rush. They can't cover anybody. There was Buccaneers wide receivers open all day. Deshaun Jackson blew by every single guy. Marcus Williams, I don't know where he was even at on that long touchdown pass to Deshaun Jackson. But anyways,
I mean, when you have people like Chris Godwin,
I'm sick of it. I'm sick of watching just poor news by the Saints. But anyways,
Chris Godwin. All right, let's move on.
Let's get some game picks.
So we're moving straight on. I just want to touch real briefly because we just talked about it. Aaron Rodgers was the GOAT from Sunday night. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Have you seen? By the way, did you see his post game interview? Did you see how it's going viral on Twitter?
And he's just so drugged up. Oh yeah, no, he was definitely on some stuff to make sure that he didn't feel that pain. Yeah,
and
for sure.
your Sam Darnold looked great after throwing a pick six. Jets look way better than we thought. These are just really quick recaps, guys, because we're running out of time. Rams Patriots. What are your thoughts? Just real quick. Rams Raiders was the game. This is my very early Super Bowl is Rams Patriots.
So you think the Rams and the Patriots will make a decision?
This is very early Super Bowl. What are your thoughts? Because they both look great.
I think the Patriots can make a run back.
Because they're Steelers. I was expecting the Steelers to make the AFC, but Big Ben is just terrible away from home. So
I'll say I think the Patriots can make another Super Bowl run. I think with Tom Brady and what they bring to the table, that the defense looks healthy. Dante Hightower is back, of course, healthy. The Patriots, of course, upgraded. Gronkowski's healthy. The Rams, see, this is my thing. The Rams have a complete roster, but it's going to be tough for them to maneuver through the NFC playoffs as good as they are.
I don't see a weakness, Cole.
I don't see a weakness except for one position. That's the quarterback position. I do not like Jared Goff.
He's not elite. Don't get me wrong.
No,
I'm not
don't
saying
think
he's elite.
Jared Goff yet is going to be a Super Bowl quarterback.
He's a starter quarterback. He's a starting quarterback.
He's a starting quarterback, but I just do not think that he's going to be a Super Bowl quarterback for the Rams.
That's a tough team. That defense is nasty.
If they had any other quarterback in their division besides Jared Goff, if you gave me Jimmy Garoppolo, if you gave me Russell Wilson, who's the other quarterback in that division?
I don't know divisions at all. Is Minnesota in that division?
The 49ers, the
I don't know
Seahawks,
divisions at all.
I
have no. You're talking,
Rams and
you're talking to a
there's
wall.
one more team I can't think.
You're talking to a wall.
Anyways, but if you had any other quarterback besides those guys, besides Jared Goff, I would give them a legit
last
chance.
Game, real quick, very briefly. I just want to say Cowboys don't have an offense. Should have signed Dez Bryant. What the heck's going on there? Okay. Best and worst of the weekend, real quick. Worst
of the weekend? Wow. Okay, how about this? I saw this story today. How about a guy got fined $125,000? Don't quote me on this. I think it's $125,000 for kicking a bird in a park. I think it's what I read. I'm not 100% sure, but I think I saw this story and I was like, what?
Hey,
a guy kicks a bird, he gets fined $120,000. I don't know.
Protect the animals.
That's my worst of the weekend. My best of the weekend is Sam Darnold.
Okay, my worst is Falcons red zone offense because, oh my gosh, what the heck is going on again? My best, even though he lost, is Gruden being back as a coach because I don't know if you saw him with the fans, that video. I absolutely love Gruden anyways just because he's got the best things ever. Inspired 2Y Banana is my favorite play ever. But, you just got to love him hyping up the fans, just going, yeah, like fist pumping up in the air. You just got to love it. Granted, he lost, but like I said, I can definitely see the Rams or a very early Super Bowl pick, Rams Patriots Super Bowl. Okay.
All right, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna do a 2-minute drill to end the show.
2-minute drill. Wow.
2-minute drill. We're gonna go through some game picks.
By the way, eventually we will get to fantasy football, guys, because I have a lot to talk about.
Hey, that's fine.
Eventually.
But real quickly here, as we close out the show, 2-minute drill, 2 minutes on the clock. I'm gonna give you some games. Just throw some games out there, Steven, for you. Give me your pick.
Are you throwing the games out that I have down, or are you throwing out different games? Because I need to know.
You can bounce. We'll bounce back and forth. How about that? We're trying new stuff here, guys. So let's bounce back and forth. I'll give you a game. You give me one. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. Ready and time's on the clock. All right. I'm gonna go with my first game. LSU Auburn. Who you got?
I got Auburn winning a close one. I say they win by 7. It's at Auburn. LSU don't have enough on offense. All right.
Alabama. I'll go Auburn as well.
Alabama Ole Miss. Who you got?
Oh, Alabama by a long shot. I don't think Ole Miss has the firepower to keep up with Alabama, even though they do have an explosive offense. Alabama's defense eventually shuts them down, and Tua goes for at least 200, 300 yards passing.
Alabama wins. Easy. Tua 300 yards passing. Great run game, and Ole Miss doesn't have it yet.
What about Ohio State and TCU?
Ohio State. This game is at Ohio State, correct?
No, it is in
Oh,
it is AT&T Stadium. It's at Jerry World.
Oh, it's at Jerry World. I did not know that.
Yes, it is at Jerry World.
That makes it more interesting because it's in TCU's hometown. Ohio State still is too talented. TCU just doesn't have it. Right, correct. Didn't they struggle this past weekend early in the game?
Yeah, I can't remember who they played, though.
It was rainy. It was a real rainy game.
Yeah, it was. I think it got delayed for a little bit. I'll also take Ohio State, but the line is set at 13.5. I'll say TCU can cover that. I'll say that it's closer than the experts predict.
I like this. What is this? I like. What
It's just me. I'm actually kind of leading you into the next.
Okay, we
game.
got a minute. Okay, last college football game for me is Texas USC.
If there was any kind of like a little, I'm kind of like, if you can tell what I'm doing, I'm doing the hook 'em. That's what I was actually doing because I'm going to be picking Texas.
Oh.
Texas finally gets a big
Is this
win.
at Texas? I need to look
Texas.
these games.
This
I need to make sure.
This is at Royal Texas Memorial Stadium. Yes, in Austin, Texas. Longhorns. The line's at 3.5.
I'll take USC. Just be different from you. Go NFL. What you got? Or you need me to go? I got
Go
NFL.
ahead, go ahead,
I got you.
go
Falcons,
for it.
Panthers. Who you got?
Falcons, Panthers. Oh, wow. Close, but
20
I got
seconds.
Panthers.
I'll take Falcons. Vikings, Packers. Who you got?
Packers. Easy.
Easy. I'll take Vikings. Saints, Browns.
Saints. Long shot.
Is
no
it at
chance.
Saints?
It's at the Saints. No chance.
It's Saints win, but barely. Browns keep it close. Patriots, Jags.
Ooh, close game, but Pats win.
I'll take the Jags. Last game, we just ran out of time. Giants, Cowboys. Who you got?
Oh man, the battle of the no-win teams. I will go with the Cowboys.
Oh, I'll go Giants, man. Cowboys don't have an offense.
That is all the time we have for this week, guys. We thank you so much for joining us. If you're a consistent Under Review follower or watcher, we appreciate that. Steven, any final word?
Under Review 24/7 on Twitter and Instagram. Facebook is just Under Review page. Go follow us on everything. We're going to send out tweets. We're going to next week we'll actually have pictures instead of just stock photos.
Yeah.
We'll have
We'll
some
try and
promo
get some video
vids.
for you guys.
We'll get stuff up on YouTube coming up this week. So just tune in. We're making this thing big, guys. Just follow along.
Tune in. We got some more really cool stuff coming for you guys. We're getting better each and every week. It's Under Review live with Cole and Steven. Thank you so much, guys. See you next week.